we are addressing the root causes of crime. 4 years after our landmark work in Justice Reinvestment, the Safety and Savings Act provides us with another opportunity to invest in the success that is justice reinvestment in our counties and get better outcomes for our communities. As we've heard, addiction is a top driver of property crime, and it desperately needs to be addressed as the root of criminality. We've learned, as we just heard, that incarceration is incredibly expensive and it's not very effective as a way to treat criminality. Instead, we need to focus our efforts on treatment, community-based corrections, and supporting families. We know that that's more effective in keeping our communities safe than simply locking people up, especially women. On your desk, you'll see an article from the Statesman Journal that reinforces some of the statistics we just heard, and I want to thank my colleague from Salem, Almsville, and Turner for her powerful speech. There's been a 200% increase in Oregon's DOC female prison population. And the good representative from Albany talked about the prison forecast. Remember, colleagues, that is a snapshot in time. And when we make policy decisions in this building, we change that forecast. So we are the ones that hold the forecast in our hands. 70% of women, as we heard in Coffee Creek, are there for non-violent drug or property crimes, and 75% of them are moms. What's not mentioned is that most of these women suffer from addiction, mental health conditions, but 95% of them will return to our communities. We need to ensure that there is a pathway to a crime-free, productive life for these women and their children. And this pathway will create safer communities for all of us in Oregon, and it is the best return on our investment. I'm happy this bill expands the Family Alternative Sentencing Program, which we voted on in a separate bill earlier this session, and this bill preserves and expands that program. And colleagues, one of the things that we've not talked much about today in this bill and the impact of this bill is what kind of treatment and services we're providing women who are victims of domestic and sexual violence. We know that most of the women in our criminal justice system are just that, victims of sexual and domestic violence. And we need to ensure that our criminal justice system helps them heal rather than re-victimizes them. That's why we passed earlier this year House Bill 3176, which allows a judge to consider whether domestic or sexual violence was a factor in the commission of a crime. And colleagues, I believe that passing the Safety and Savings Act today is the next step in ensuring we move forward to both hold people accountable for their actions, but also to invest in root causes of criminality and keep our communities safer. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.